Soaring fearlessly through a sea of angry gray charcoal clouds, Superman inches closer and closer to the source of mayhem. Lex Luthor stands proudly upon a skyscraper, confident in his victory. Superman lands a few meters away from Luthor, with his cape billowing heroically in the wind. Mwahaha! You don't stand a chance, Luthor chides. Don't get so cocky now, Lex, Superman retorts. Lex snickers in return, walks until he is a foot away from his rival, and pulls out a glowing, emerald green mineral from his suit jacket. Immediately, Superman collapses onto the hard skyscraper roof, losing feeling in every part of his bulky body. Now back to our unfortunate reality of 2020. From Argentina to Africa, from New Zealand to New Jersey, and from France to Fiji. All of humanity has been affected by COVID-19. And as of November 11th, 2020, 1.27 million lives have been lost due to this deadly virus. Now, what exactly is COVID-19? The CO stands for corona, the VI stands for virus, the D for disease, and the 19 for 2019, the year it first started. Now, this coronavirus disease is caused by a new coronavirus first identified in Wuhan, China in December 2019. Now, while our bodies may have not been consumed by COVID-19, almost a year since its first discovery, it still consumes the mind every single second. When will it be over? When will schools be back to normal? Jobs? Sporting events? Any social event at all? Well, to answer those questions, I cannot give a specific time frame, but health organizations and medical professionals, carefully controlled laboratory experiments, and real-world scenarios across the world all have continuously proven, by wearing masks, the spread of the infuriating COVID-19 will certainly be slowed, if not collapsed, entirely. Health organizations like the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the University of California San Francisco Medical Center, the University of Maryland Medical Center, and the Mayo Clinic, and medical professionals like Vincent Travella, a master of public health, who specializes in infectious disease and epidemiology, are all in agreement that masks are effective in slowing the spread of COVID-19. In the case of the novel coronavirus and COVID-19, the CDC notes that a simple face covering or mask can reduce its spread, and it recommends that people wear a face covering or mask to cover their nose and mouth when in the community. Medical professionals located close to our hearts and our homes at the University of Maryland Medical Center preach about the importance of masks as well, and wrote an article dispelling myths about masks by using solid facts. The most popular type of mask in North America are cloth masks, but many people hold the opinion that they do not protect you. However, cloth masks are effective. They create a barrier between your nose and mouth and those around you. This makes it more difficult for the droplets that spread coronavirus through coughs, sneezes, and talking to reach other people. Now, during the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, many people regarded masks as too extreme of a measure, and still hold this belief. They say, why weren't masks recommended from the start? Well, at that time, experts didn't know the extent to which people with COVID-19 could spread the virus before symptoms appear, nor was it known that some people have COVID-19 but don't have any symptoms. Both groups can unknowingly spread the virus to others. COVID-19 was and still is a rapidly evolving situation, and health organizations around the world were working as fast as they could to get the facts. A delay in certainty is expected. Organizations started promoting masks, such as the World Organization and the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and they started including face masks in their recommendations for slowing the spread of the virus as soon as they got those facts. Now, speaking of worldwide, it has been proven through real scenarios across the globe that masks are successful in halting the spread of COVID-19. Interestingly enough, Masks were something accepted better in certain cultures than in others, and one study specifically looked at coronavirus deaths across 198 countries and found that those with cultural norms or government policies favoring masks had lower death rates. Now, what about America? Are masks culturally friendly here? To be honest, not really. Why is that? Well, many Americans hold the opinion that masks infringe upon their freedom of expression. Because a mask is something people wear. What someone chooses to wear, like clothes, jewelry, and hats, are methods of expression. They use the same argument to defend going against mask mandates, as being forced to wear a mask is the same as being forced to wear something, right? No, a mask is so much more than something people wear. It is absolute kryptonite against illness and death itself. As a matter of fact, a recent study published in Health Affairs compared the COVID-19 growth rate before and after mask mandates in 15 states and the District of Columbia. It found that mask mandates led to a slowdown in daily COVID-19 growth rate, which became more apparent over time. The first 5 days after a mandate, the daily growth rate slowed by 0.9 percentage points compared to the 5 days prior to the mandate, and at 3 weeks, the daily growth rate had slowed by 2 percentage points. Now let us travel to a real-life scenario in COVID-19's country of origin, China. A man flew from China to Toronto, and subsequently tested positive for COVID-19. He had a dry cough and wore a mask on the flight, and all 25 people closest to him on that flight tested negative for COVID-19. Now, these real-world examples are powerful. However, those still skeptical about the superpowers of the mask cannot argue with science, for the results of these carefully controlled laboratory experiments test positive in a mask's favor. An experiment using high-speed video found that hundreds of droplets ranging from 20 to 500 micrometers were generated when saying a simple phrase, but that nearly all these drop cloths were blocked when the mouth was covered by a simple, damp washcloth. In another experiment, scientists looked at how many masks could help people with the seasonal flu limit, spreading it when they exhale droplets containing the virus. Overall, researchers found masks led to a more than 3-fold reduction in how much virus people sprayed into the air. 3-fold, folks, 3-fold. I cannot emphasize how much of a reduction that is, just as how I cannot emphasize enough how important it is to wear your mask. I am presenting a call to action that anyone can follow. If not for yourself, wear one for your child. Wear one for your aging parents. Wear one for all of the people near and dear to your heart. Remember, we may not have superpowers, but with the mask as our kryptonite we do. And united, we can conquer and collapse. The Superman that is COVID-19. Thank you very much. Wear your masks, folks.